throughout this tournament. The split pushing came on. We just saw Darian putting in an absolutely outstanding performance on Shen. So it was very, very strong. And there are CLG in the gaming area. You can see the fans behind him. He's even got the Aborson there, the former SK manager, who is staying impartial, but he's pretty sure he's supporting CLG on this one.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Wow, it's Froggen actually falling asleep there. Look at that. Look at that yawn. Oh, Froggen, come on, man. Well, liven up.
They need to tell Froggen that he's on camera.
Yeah.
He doesn't realize, I guess. But the next Pixel coming out as well. Irelia, not really surprised that we're going to be seeing Wicked on Irelia. And Soraka coming out fairly early. Of course, Karthus was picked up by Absolute Legends. We saw him in the last game, Celiver, playing that Karthus to, well, not the greatest effect, I think we can call it. Corki Leona coming in as well. Another lane which we saw really come into prominence at the Intel Extreme Masters World Championships in Hanover. That whole kill lane style of absolute aggression in the bottom lane.
Yeah, against all authorities, wasn't it? It was N-rated. It was fantastic on Leona. Really played very well. Of course, you've also got I'm a Cutie Pie on Corki was fantastic as well. So it is a very strong lane. So there's Absolute Legends. They are the Polish team. So they've this, as far as I'm aware, this is their first event as Absolute Legends. It may even be their first event as XHL. They've probably done some Polish lands. I know there was a few events that took place about last month sometime, so they may well have been attending that as HCL. But it is going to be Ari and Tristana being picked up, so it's going to be that Tristana bottom lane that Yellow Pete played yesterday against Millennium, I think it was. They banned out Urgot. They took Graves as well, which is what they've done, and Corki. So we're like, what are they going to go with? He pulled out an absolutely outstanding Tristana. So quite happy to lock that one in. That's a solid lineup for me for CLG there. But, you know, Absolute Legends have got a pretty good team there as well. Obviously, you've got the hyper carry of Karthus. Karthus has been playing fantastically well, and that is a very strong lineup now, I think. Jarvan and Shen in the Jack, and Shen in the same team. Alongside that, Karthus is very, very strong. This could well be a very tense game. I think we're going to see a slow-paced game. I don't think it's going to be anything crazy aggressive unless Absolute Legends push the pace. I think CLG are going to quite happily sit back on this one and just let it roll out over the farming session.
Yeah, and I think aside from the obvious CLG versus Moscow 5, which will actually be our last game of the day, this is very possibly the match of the group. You know, Absolute Legends, as you've said, they're fairly new when it comes to actually being on LAN. Of course, they do have Kikis, who was in Korea, with Meet Your Makers when they finished second at the World Cyber Games late last year. So he's certainly got some big stage experience, so to speak. The rest of the team, this is going to be their first major tournament. And will that play into it? Are they nervous? I'm not 100% sure.
So there's an interesting thing come up here. So I am going to talk about it because I was speaking to Crepo in the last game, the Moscow 5 versus Absolute Legends. So Absolute Legends dropped out of the game, and they changed the runes. Now, as far as I'm aware, at ESL, that's against the rules. I don't know at DreamHack how the rules are, but he said that is a default win. And they've just done it again. And Crepo,
so is it GG?
Crepo immediately in the
Am
chat.
I back on break now?
Crepo immediately in the chat has brought straight up and says they are doing runes again. This shouldn't happen. So I don't know. I mean, I'm completely. We all want to see a game. And so yeah, they're not happy with it, but they are going to go on and let it go. So it's an interesting point of.
Wicked said top laners only need one room page. And Kikis apparently uses 10 plus room pages.
10 plus
for his.
Well, that's right. I mean, you can have like 20 room pages or something like that. Something crazy. And Yellow Pete says, I could use that amount of pages. I'm thinking, how many pages do you need for an AD carry? Well, I really don't know. And as far as I'm aware, Zinek's got like one support page, and it's just like, that's the support page.
That is how I play.
Yeah.
And they do not change whatsoever.
Because we played in Aram and he had these support runes on. It's like, I'm going to level up quicker than you guys.
So bans coming in once again. Obviously, they are not the real bans, so don't go crazy that Timo and Vigo are actually banned out of this game. But, you know, we're just going through it as quickly as possible now. But we've seen the two lineups for these teams. I actually prefer the Absolute Legends setup.
They've got a really good, strong setup there. Yeah.
The problem, as I said before, is are they going to be in the right frame of mind, so to speak, coming into this game? I mean, playing against Moscow 5 is possibly the worst opening you could have of a tournament. They're the hardest team to beat, most possibly, on LAN at the moment. So, you know, maybe against CLG, if they had nerves, then that will have all calmed down a little bit and they'll be coming into this one a bit more level-headed. But I think if they got off to a good start here, those nerves are going to dissipate really quickly, and they're going to be ready to give CLG a real good game.
Yeah, and, but I mean, you look at CLG, they've got champions they want. Snoopy's been happy with Nautilus throughout this tournament. Wicked is on Aurelia. It's like, hello, he is Mr. Aurelia. Crepo's always happy on Soraka. He still thinks it is overpowered and needs banning, nerfing down. He's just talking about it
bananas,
earlier.
man.
Yeah, them bananas too strong. Yellow Pete on Tristana, well, we saw him have an absolutely fantastic Tristana match earlier. I think Corki possibly could be a stronger pick in that one. I'm not too sure how that lane's going to work out. Puki Style is a very strong player. You may have seen him online as Leet Random. I think he's been playing us a lot lately. Puki Style is his name. He's finally decided to actually pick it properly on the tournament realm. Veggie is a fantastic jungle. Salavar's a fantastic mid. Kikis is a fantastic top. So they are strong lineups. How Kikis is going to line up against Aurelia, are AL going to go Curse Style and just camp out that top lane this time? It's entirely possible because Veggie could come out, get that taunting, Kikis could jump on him, get that counter-strike. There's a lot of crowd control on Aurelia that you could use to maybe get that damage on him, and you could burst and chase him down quite heavily. So I think we might have to keep our eye on that top lane. But in the middle lane, Froggen is just Froggen. It's just, the guy is too good on any champion yet. You actually see him play, he could have just got a pentakill, or he could have just lost 0-10. The face will not change. It will be void of emotion. He's just like...
I'm pretty sure he smiled when he stole that pentakill away from
Yellow Pete
game.
Scumbag Froggen. There's already threads about that one. We won't go down that route.
Yeah, and actually the highest upvoted reply in that is Froggen saying, "And I don't even care."
And I don't care that I stole it.
Froggen. But yeah, CLG, they're going to be feeling confident. I spoke to Snoopy after their first game against Mebdy's Minions, and their plan was this whole camping out a top lane, buying lots of pink wards so that they could take the wards away from Wicked's top lane and make sure that he was always feeling unsafe, which actually worked for them until they started focusing on this bottom lane with 4 men, and Wicked just was allowed to farm till he got Trinity Force, and then just left his lane and started rolling faces.
Yeah, and I think Gatsby tweeted is basically saying, I think they kind of caught him off surprise. They did so well at the start. They're just like, what do we do now? I don't know. And this is what we've talked about so many times. The very top teams will push home that advantage so strong, which is exactly what we just saw Moscow 5 do. Once they got that advantage, they just absolutely snowball you. They will be all over your face and up in your grill. But as it is, CLG and AL can do the same sort of thing. Crepo's going to walk straight into this one. It's a first blood almost certainly. It will be Jax that picks it up. Wicked actually could get caught out as well. Veggie doesn't get a taunt on him though. He will be able to walk away from that one. And that's just a simple case of, I was just trying to ward.
Yeah, a mistake early on from Crepo, without a doubt. And, Absolute Legends now have this position inside of the jungle. They've put that ward down by the blue buff. Will they hang around? This is something that we're used to seeing from these teams that originated in EU, Nordic, and East. Very, very aggressive early on. And it can backfire for you, but as you've just seen there, it can really pay off. That first blood going on to Jax means now that Wicked with Aurelia in this top lane is going to have a little bit of a tough time. Looks like Snoopy will be starting down on the bottom side of the map, which means this blue buff will be open for Absolute Legends to simply take away and deny.
Yeah, so they're going to be taking the blue buff. Snoopy's not going to be able to go over there. He's going to probably deal with the blue. He realizes that probably chances are he cannot go near that area. He's going to be well aware that something could be going on. Corki, meanwhile, has also gone down to the bottom, so he doesn't want to miss out on the CS. So they've left 4 people in that blue buff area. I don't think Wicked's going to go anywhere near it, so Snoopy's going to quite happily take this red buff on. So blue buff, who will blue buff go to? Garen will hopefully look over to the blue buff in a moment so we can see exactly who's going to pick that up. It will be Veggie, so Veggie's going to take that one away quite happily and go about his business. The question is, will he go for a gank on Wicked up top there, or will he just head about his way? Yeah, he's just going to head straight into the jungle and make sure he gets his clear path going.
And actually, CLG did reset the red buff, by the way, which sets him back even further. Obviously, he used his smite, and then it reset.
Oh, dear.
And then, that's just not good news. I mean, from that position, Snoopy is obviously not aware, but will have a good feeling that blue buff is not going to be there when he gets in. So I would have maybe expected him to save his smite and then head over to the enemy side and go for that blue. A bit of aggression to match what's already come up, but it's always a risky play. Snoopy wanting to play safe. After that last game against Mempty's Minions, he actually said, I felt pretty useless in that game. Even when it came to the team fights, I was kind of just walking around and not really getting involved that much. So that's something that Snoop is going to be wanting to improve in this game. Of course, we have 4,500 to 3.8, so a slow advantage already creeping Absolute Legends' way.
Yeah, and it might just be me, but I don't think we got any game sound on. So hopefully the guys backstage will be listening to me there, because I'm pretty sure there's no game sound. And definitely not in my ear, at least. As it is at the moment, though, 3 minutes in, you can see Wicked diving in there on towards Kikis. Kikis actually going with the counter-strike there, going to get a bit of damage down on towards Wicked. Doesn't manage to go for the stun, actually took a bit more damage himself there, Kikis, so Wicked's quite happy to engage with him there. Selavar, meanwhile, going to get dived on. The charm actually going in there. The dredge line is going to land, but he's going to have to back away because Veggie came around. Selavar almost certainly would have gone down if Veggie was not there. So forced him back straight away. Very nice play there. And Selavar actually just going to chomp through those health pots and keep himself alive in the mid there. Down the bottom, well, you know, they've had to back away a little bit for a while. And we're not looking at it, but down the bottom, they've had to force away a bit because Yellow Pete had to help out. Crepo and Yellow Pete were forced to back away, which is why they see them in this forced position. You know, Crepo was talking about the Moscow 5 AL game that was happening earlier. And he was talking about the lane setup, the Taric Graves that Absolute Legends had, and he's like, if that was on the blue team, they could not have picked up Kog'Maw and Nunu, Moscow 5 said, but because of the blue team is so strong with the fact you get those golems early on, you can hit level 2 earlier, and then you can just zone them out. And that's what they're trying to do there. They're just trying to zone them out in that bottom lane. If we look at Tristana, what all they're trying to do now is completely zone them out, keep them away from the experience. So you can see Leona there. They're not actually last hit, they're just going to want to keep that lane there. And as soon as anyone comes near it, they want to hit them hard as much as they can. This is why Yellow Pete's getting ready to just jump straight onto his face. Yeah, and you can see he's just completely keeping him away from the experience and jumps onto his face. God, I'm good at this.
Very modest as well, Demon, I noticed there. Good stuff. But in terms of this top lane, actually, which we're going to have a look at in a second, they see our Veggie, actually. Wicked is slightly ahead in that level. In terms of CS, 30 to 15 is actually Shen, and 26 is the number that I was actually looking for as a scoreboard. There it is, look.
Yeah, that Garen is he's trolling us in this game, I swear.
And double Doran's Blade already on Jack's the first blood, really helping that one out. Wicked has actually picked up a pink ward on his trip home there, so a little bit cautious of how that all went down in the last game, as to the fact that CLG may, the Absolute Legends may go for a similar kind of strategy here, but they're not going to be able to once Wicked gets those pink wards down and in position. And actually, Jax has not even bothered to get wards down there either in this top lane. So pretty much blind is Jax. Aurelia will get that pink ward down, and you'll notice that there aren't any in position to stop him. The junglers as well, obviously, the start made a real difference to both of them. Shen picking up an assist helped out, also stealing away that blue buff earlier on. But he is now a little bit behind in that sense, as you'd probably expect. You know, Shen not the fastest of clear times anyway, and has spent a bit of time in this middle lane. He is going to start to come up to top. That ward that Wicked put down is going to save him. Down in the bottom lane, Yellow Pete and Crepo actually starting to push this lane out a bit more.
Yeah, they're just going to keep it down there. So you can see Pookie Star is actually forced against the tower, so he's going to... He's missing, I was about to say, he's going to struggle to pick up the CS. He's missing the CS, which is going to be a problem for him. He is actually ahead in that CS, so he's okay. He can balance it off. We haven't seen too much ganking on the top, though. This is what I was talking about. When they were going to pressure on Wicked, and they haven't gone that way, which is like Curse did, like maybe these minions did as well. They just pressured that top lane. I expected that from Shen, but Shen is going for a bit of an invade here. He's just been pinged straight away, so he's just simply warding up the river and just back straight off. So he's not being that aggressive on Shen just yet. He's in a position where he probably could be. He has only got boots and a ruby crystal, so he's not exactly going to do a great deal of damage. It's more a case of can he just pressure them into a situation, maybe force them to use a flash, try and open an opportunity for, say, Kikis along that top lane. Kikis at the moment having that little exchange there against Wicked, but Wicked, I feel, seems to be coming out on top of this exchange. Selavar, meanwhile, in the mid. Froggen's going to dive on him. He has to flash away. Selavar saved once again, just about, though. That's the second time he's managed to escape with very little health.
Yeah, but escaping nonetheless, and that's a thing that he has to do. He can't let Froggen get off to a good start, get that confidence rolling, and more importantly, get fed. The CS in that middle lane, 50 to 41. So Froggen does have that early advantage. Meanwhile, here up at top, we can see Kikis and Wicked exchanging. Actually, we are going to see the Ignite go down. Karthus ulti is not going to finish it. It's Kikis that gets his deserved kill. But that is 2-0 on this Jax. And we know what happens when Jax get fed. Jax wins games.
Yeah, Jax could win games. And Jax stacked up with Shen could be a very scary prospect for CLG late game. They will both certainly come into their own when they get to that phase, and he's already picked up the double Dorans. Is going to be able to go back. He just obviously picked up another 400 gold with that kill there. So he's going to be very, very strong considering. Aurelia seemed to be in control. I mean, Wicked seemed to have that one under control. He's actually gone double Doran's Blade as well, and 4 health pots to go with that ward that he's just picked up. There goes Jax, just back, going straight back and picking up a phage. Wow, he's going to hurt. Double ward as well and a health pot. So, well, Jax is already going to be dominating that lane. I don't think Wicked can stand a bang with him anymore. He just can't get close. He's 20 CS difference, and obviously with those 2 kills versus 0-1, and that damage he's going to get from the phage and possible slow proc, I don't think Wicked's going to be able to do anything other than stand by his turret. So Veggie going to continue on. He's picking up red. Hasn't been required in that top lane. I think it's safe to say that.
Yeah, Jax hasn't really needed it, has he? He's looking so strong with that phage in there as well. Gonna be some troubles coming out for Wicked. Actually, Jax will put a ward down, so Kikis, after moving up to 2-0, probably feeling that CLG are going to want to try and counter him, force him out of this lane. He is ahead on the experience, he's ahead on the CS as well. And, well, he's going to continue to put the pressure down onto Wicked. Counter-Strike will proc off onto him, and Wicked's struggling here again, and Kikis may be able to finish off, decides no, it's enough to force Wicked away. And that's the thing, he doesn't necessarily have to get the kills. Okay, the kills are a really big bonus, but if he keeps Wicked constantly going back, then he wins this lane automatically anyway.
Yeah, that's heavy. He's just been sent back. He's only just come back to lane, put the ward in the river. I think he got 1 CS and had to go straight back. That is a harsh lane for him. So he's already 20, 30 CS behind to Kikis. Kikis is very strong. Kikis actually backing off, so he's placed 2 wards and he's backing straight off. We could see him potentially go down towards Dragon here. Yeah. Shen's already in position down there. So Kikis has gone back now. Let's see whether he heads down south. He picks up a mana crystal. He's not. He's just going straight back towards the top there. We are 10 minutes in, and he's just thinking maybe I've got the great big advantage over him. I kind of want to pressure it home on him. Selavar has been struggling against Froggen in the mid here, though. We've seen him sent back twice. Let's see whether Nautilus is going to be able to show up. You can see he's stood on top of a ward, so they know exactly that he's there. Shen's in position. Super S is coming around as well to try and come around the backside. I think they're going to try and a gank attempt on towards Snooper. They realize he hasn't obviously got an Oracle on. He would have cleared out that ward straight away. So is it worth it? I don't think it is, which is why they backed off. Aurelia was heading down south, though, so potentially CLG may be thinking of a Dragon here.
Yeah, and I think both teams going to react to this one. Actually, Wicked has gone back a little bit. You can see Kikis did start to work his way in towards this middle, and if they get a vision of Wicked going back towards the top, they'll probably just say, you know what, it's time to actually do this one. It's time to push in there. This ward in the brush, they will have spotted that ward that Snoopy put down a little bit earlier on. Bottom lane is now moving up as well, and we are going to be seeing the first Dragon attempt of this game. There is no Oracle still for Absolute Legends, though, so CLG have this ward on the top side of the Dragon pit, so they know that this Dragon's going on, but quite frankly, they can't do anything about it. Wicked's going to try and force the issue up at top, actually, but I'm not sure if he'll be able to take that down. It's half HP, it's possible.
I think Karthus is going to go up there, and I think we're going to see Veggie ulti onto him in a moment. Karthus is going to come around. Wall of Pain goes across Wicked there. Will we see the Shen ulti coming around as well? He could definitely get the kill if Shen went and joined it. You can see Wicked's already in trouble. He's having to dodge those layways. Doing a very good job at that, actually. Selavar keeping him within the defile range, but, well, he didn't go for it. That does surprise me. Kickers instead. Oh, now they're going to go for Froggen. Will they secure the kill? No! Not enough. Kiki's going to die for that one. Meanwhile, that's also triggered a fight down the bottom. Yellow Pete there, jumped to back away. The Ignite running. The Exhaust was on him as well. Crepo seems to be the target. Pookie Star's going to take 2 hits. Very, very close. Health spot running. Big green screen. Don't know what's going on, but we are back in the action. He was taken down very low. And actually, Garen, not sure where to watch it. Crepo does go down on that bottom there. Pookie Star was dived on a little bit too aggressively. Yellow Pete's still in trouble, I feel. Now they're going to come around the backside of Snoopy here. Veggie, could he go for a tower dive? Kikis is going to come in. Oh, just misses the taunt. And he's going to back away from that one. Selavar continues on his harassment on Wicked. So this is working out very well. There's still, remember, the Shen ulti is available should they require it.
Yeah, he can still go anywhere he pleases and really cause some problems there. Froggen has now come back into the lane after getting that pressure. And there's the thing, you know, that was Ari versus Jax in the middle. Kikis just jumping in on top of him, managed to get the stun off, and is causing all kinds of problems now, which is going to be in the long run painful for CLG. 87 to 79 CS, so Wicked is starting to catch up there in his creep score, but it's 1,000 gold difference between these two players.
Yeah, that's a big, big difference in that top lane. 4K gold already. And you can see he's building up slowly towards that Trinity Force on that top lane. It is going to be a dangerous, dangerous thing because he's going to hit that Trinity Force way ahead of Wicked at the moment. Wicked is going to continue farming them. We saw exactly the same with Medveds and minions. They completely harassed Wicked and then they just left him alone for a while. I don't think he's going to do the same thing. He wisely backs away, uses that counter-strike and then backs off as Wicked uses his ulti, gets the Empower, jump, leap strike straight back onto him. Salavat trying to take away those Wraith, stop Frog and getting the stealing on them. Will pick up that goal. The blue buff has just spawned. Yeah, I can see Salavat, Ari will be going straight towards that one. He's going to pick that up, Froggen. So no steals just yet. 13 minutes into this game.
CS is insanely close as well.
Yeah, and the gold's actually, the only difference in the gold is purely kills, I think. There's nothing other than the CS difference because the lanes are still very, very even. Crepo taking a lot of damage there. But, you know, Crepo being the only death outside of Aurelia, it's not too bad. The support dying twice is not the end of the world.
No, but I suppose with the AD carry actually getting in, Wicked could be in trouble here again, and well, will force Kikis to back away. Snoopy coming in the nick of time. But that's more time for Wicked out of the lane. Let's down on the bottom, we've got some real problems as well. Actually, Crepo is going to be burst down. Will use the ulti heal. Is it going to be enough? Hello, Karthus ulti coming in. Crepo going to go down. Shen's here as well, and now Yellow Pete in trouble. He's already used his rocket jump, and well, Veggie's decided against it. I think he could have got that, you know.
I think he got to go out as well, but instead he backed away. Froggen, meanwhile, diving towards Salavat. He's going to go straight to the tower. Oh, the Ignite finishes him off. Meanwhile, down the bottom lane, we also saw Tristana go down to Corki. So, well, it was a 1-for-1 exchange there. So, 5-1 now. Absolute Legends with the lead. They are looking very strong in this game. CLG, of course, 1-0 up already. AL have to pick up this game. This will open the group right up, because obviously Moscow 5 versus CLG suddenly is a hyper-important game for CLG if they will lose this one. Long, long way to go yet, though. We're only 15 minutes into it.
Yeah, this one still could end in favor of either team. But down at the bottom, I thought Shen could go for that one. In the end, that didn't happen, but that's because Corki was going to Valkyrie himself in to get that kill. Up at top, Wicked seems to be a little bit stronger now. He's got that Phage in place. I'm assuming that Jax has actually sat on quite a chunk of gold there, but we'll have to see about that one. Kikis again will get stunned up, and Wicked really using the mobility that Aurelia has to get in there, trade off that damage, and get out and then back into the fight, even when he feels it's you know, an advantage to him. There goes Kikis jumping in once again. Counter-track is up. This is where it could get dangerous, and there we go. Kikis gonna knock him down. And the damage from Jax is just too much at the moment for Wicked. The question is, can Froggen get in to finish this one off? He will dart in. Ulti was running. And there is the shutdown. That's an important kill now. They had to deal with that Jax, Demon.
Yeah, and the problem was Jax had used the flash to secure that kill a minute ago, so he had nothing to escape from Froggen. As soon as Froggen managed to get on towards him, will completely destroy him. And actually, Karthus needs to be careful now, because Froggen's in a dangerous, dangerous position. He did just use his ulti up, though, but he has got that Zhonya's Hourglass, so he's going to be doing a lot of damage. Rod of Age is also completed by Karthus, so Karthus is going to be getting that one pretty early on. 6-2. This is actually a lot more kills than I thought it would be. I thought this would be a very much a passive farming session, certainly from CLG. I think Absolute Legends are forcing it into a bit of a much more of a fight, though. We can see Aurelia now returning back to lane, hasn't been able to go and buy anything, whereas on the other hand, Mercury Treads have been completed by Jax. So Jax is going to be, again, a little bit stronger in that top lane. Will not get CC'd half as much, a bit more magic resistance. Meanwhile, in the middle, Aurelia actually pushing on the mid turret. CLG seem to be closing on this middle turret. I'm not sure that's the right way to go. I think they need to try and stick in that lane phase a little bit longer. Wicked actually goes on towards Veggie. You can see that Kikis does rejoin the lane. They knew that Karthus had gone back. Karthus just bought out his Mercury Treads as well. But honestly, they seem to be positioning. I'm guessing it must be Dragon time. I didn't actually catch the time on the last one. I'm sure it's like a minute away.
There it is.
Ah.
Just spawned in his head there. But one thing that I spoke about earlier on was Snoopy. In the last game, we didn't see much of him, but I think we've seen even less of him in lanes in this one. Literally not one gank that's been attempted, unless I've been totally missing it every time, but I'm pretty sure on that one. Dragon, as we said, is up, and Absolute Legends are positioned for it. Jax needs to be careful here that he doesn't get too separated off from the team, but they've got a ward there. They know that Snoopy is off to this side. There is a ward from CLG as well, though, So we'll see if anyone decides to initiate. They are going to dive in on towards Snoopy, and well, he's not taken too much damage. There was the ulti actually missed from Leona as well. Are they going to try and fight this one anyway? Yes, they are. Super A is going very low. They've switched their attention over onto Veggie, though, who will fall down to the AD carry of Yellow Pete. Celiva down to below half HP as well, but they've taken out Froggen. Here comes the Karthus ulti. It's not going to pick up any kill, but it'll surely force them to back away and open up that dragon for Absolute Legends. A 1-for-1, but job done for AL.
Well, but is it though? Because they're all pretty low on health. I'm not sure
true.
if they can afford to open this one up. You can see that the health pots are running. They're topping themselves off. Will they manage to get in to get a steal? They're not going to go for it. So will be dragon for AL. Very nicely worked kill there. I thought for a moment they'd actually messed it up. You saw Leona's ulti, it didn't quite, well, it hit them, but they didn't really get in position to follow up on it in time. Kikis was like, well, I could jump in there, but I'm not too sure that's the right choice. Shen did follow it through. He went in there, took a lot of the damage, and obviously went down for it. But, you know, that's what Shen's for, getting in their faces. He's also built himself very tanky, so again, we're going to get to that situation where Shen's just going to be split pushing either on the top or the bottom, while the rest of the team is starting to be busy. But I still think, as a late game team, AL have a fantastic composition.
Yeah, they certainly do. And we've got Corki now with Trinity Force finished. He's currently 3-0-2 there. One kill there for Yellow Pete on Tristana is going to help things out. But if you look at their items, you know, Corki, Trinity Force, Berserker Greaves, one Doran's Blade and a dagger, compared to the Berserker Greaves, double Doran's Blade, pickaxe, and the crit cloak. So Corki really having a good time, but he is slightly behind in CS, but those kills more than making up for it, along with the dragons that have been picked up by Absolute Legends. Jax has now finished the Sheen to go on top of that Phage as well, so he's nicely working up towards that Trinity Force. Ari, as Stephen pointed out earlier on, does have that Zhonya's Hourglass. Sorcerer's Shoes have been finished on that last trip home as well. And in terms of Wicked, who's had the most horrible times in this top lane, he's not actually bought anything recently. Double Doran's Blade, still the Boots of Speed and that Phage that he picked up earlier on. So Kikis will once again become a real danger. There's Celiva in middle, and you can see how much damage Froggen is doing now.
Yeah, absolutely. He's caused all sorts of problems. There's actually action going on because I can see Jax is also pushed on the top lane. So that ulti is going to hit both sides. Yellow Pete's taken down a little bit. Aurelia wasn't really taken down a great deal. I think it was more a case of saving him than anything. Kikis had to back away from that turret. Celiva, meanwhile, I think Celiva's starting to really struggle here. Ulti going on Pukistar. That's going to bounce in the air. Snoopy, actually, Super has tried to turn around towards Yellow Pete. Puki's going to have to back away from this one. He can't get involved. As soon as he shows himself his health, they're going to surely go for that. Yellow Pete can jump on him there. Oh, flash! Beautiful play from Pukistar. Realized he got the damage, realized he got the big bomb ready. Flash ulted in his face. Kikis is going to surely take down Wicked. That might well be the death of him, though. Leap strike onto him will survive. Very nicely played there. And Kikis will get away from that one. Meanwhile, they're trying to dive on towards Shen in the mid. And he's backing off 9-3. Absolute Legends continue to actually win this game.
Yeah, and I was actually watching here onto this middle lane. We see Froggen once again land that charm. Not quite got the damage to take down Veg at this point, but Froggen dove under that tower to have a go at Karthus, popped his Zhonya's Hourglass, and then was actually able to use his ulti to get away from that position. So they weren't quite able to lock him down. He didn't get the kills from it. Celiva actually managed to survive here. Puki is actually going to move in now onto Crepo. He's got vision from that ward inside the brush, and he may just have the damage here with that Trinity Force. Can he dive? Yes, he's going to ignite his down as well, and Puki style is unstoppable. 5-0-2, and that is a scary prospect now for CLG going up against such a ridiculously fed AD carry.
Well, and the scary thing is that Kikis has nearly completed his Trinity Force. Puki style has completed his Trinity Force, and Veggie is only going to get stronger. So they really have a uphill task. And honestly, the Infinity Edge is nearly completed. Meanwhile, in the middle, Celiva's actually getting dived on. Can he take down Froggen? He's just going to be able to dash away from that one. Nicely played there, Froggen. I thought, he's had the better of in the middle. This is the saving grace for CLG at the moment. They are looking strong in the terms of middle. Froggen is doing a fantastic job, as he always does. With that Zhonya's Hourglass, he's got a lot of damage. He's also got the Sorcerer's Boots now completed. And Veggie, again, you can see just one single Q is really hurting him there. Just Veggie can't even take the damage. He obviously hasn't really got a great deal of magic resist. He's got the, saying that, he's got Mercury Treads and the cloak on, so he actually has quite a bit of magic resist. So Froggen really is starting to do the burst, but can they close in around him? Here they go. Froggen's going to get caught out on the turret. Snoopy puts his ulti down. Finley, you have to use this on his Hourglass. Pinky Style needs to turn quickly on towards Froggen. He will surely take him down. Yes, he will. A double kill for Absolute Legends there. Snoopy going down. And you know what? Like we said, Snoopy, we've not really seen him getting involved in this. And the moment he does, he gets taken down.
Yeah, he's been really quiet throughout this game. And like you say, that was a weird combination of things because Snoopy may well have been able to walk away from that one because they obviously wanted Froggen first. But he popped his Zhonya's Hourglass, which was just enough time for them to go to Snoopy, kill him, then come back and kill Froggen afterwards. So, maybe not the best idea in the when you look back at it, but heat of the moment and all that. 12-4 the overall score, 23 minutes in, and a 33 to 26,000 gold lead. Here's Kikis actually going to jump in there onto Yellow Pete. Not sure that's the best idea that he's ever come up with. I don't think he quite saw Crepo there, who was off to the side, still in the fog of war. And 1,800 gold actually with Kikis right now, so he's going to be going back and finishing off that Trinity Force, which makes him just even more stronger.
Yeah, Yellow Pete hops in, says thanks. That's a forest tag straight for you there. Jungle tags. Forest. I ended up on forest. Yeah, making names up as I go along. So Selavar going to work his way through. They have got the ward placement set out for Dragon, which is due in around about 30-40 seconds time. I think it was at 17. I'm pretty sure it was 17, 18 the last time it went down. There was a bit of a fight before it. Kikis, look at that. Double Trinity Force. And he's got a BF sword as well, Corky. There's a lot of damage. Aegis Legion also completed on Shen as well. Meanwhile, Infinity Edge. And of course, Froggen is the saving grace. Like I say, he's building up towards a Rabadon's Death Cap now as well with that Sonya's Hourglass. Sonya's has just been used. I'm not sure if it would be available. Yes, it is available. Actually, he's back up, so he could use it. But Super S is going to work his way around. Remember, Leona can land that stun from quite a range. Could easily pop it through there. Wicked now joining. So only the Shen, who is stealing away the blue buff, is missing from this fight. Dragon's just about to spawn, Joe. It's looking like it's setting up, certainly setting up for a position. I think CLG might try and push the tower down, but Corky seems to be blocking off. Kikis now, he could solo it quite easily. So if the rest of Absolute Legends keep him occupied here, CLG now going to go from it. They all went through a wall of pain there. Kikis had to back away from that one. He was already on the Dragon. He's had to back off. And they have got that pink ward down. The rest of AL, they are split pushing there. You can see Shen still on that top lane, crawling it down. Froggen going in there. Shen ulti's going to come out any second now. Leona ulti landing perfectly. Froggen are using the Zhonya's Hourglass right at the beginning. Kikis jumping on him. Kikis is going to take him down. The Captain Sword is going to go off. It's going to do a fair chunk of damage to everyone there. Veggie is going to split across, going towards Yellow Pete. Good target to go for. Takes away that Infinity Edge from the fight. Very nicely played. Absolute Legends. They lost 2 for 3 though there, so it wasn't as clean a fight as it could have been, but Absolute Legends are going to pick up the Dragon on the back of this. There's absolutely nothing Wicked and Crepa can do about it.
Yeah, they can't do anything about it. And I just want to point out as well the vision that Absolute Legends have right now. Their warding is absolutely brilliant. Top side of the jungle from CLG, obviously round about this Dragon. They knew it was coming up. There's a pink ward outside the pit, one ward behind it. Pretty much every point on the entry to this Dragon, there is a ward. Maybe even too many, actually, from Absolute Legends. They've got vision of it all. And they're currently, 8,500 gold in the lead, 26 minutes in. But I still feel like, especially after that fight, Demon, that this is not that clear-cut of a thing. Froggen's doing a fantastic job, without a question, in terms of his micro play in those fights themselves. The timing of his Zhonya's Hourglass, then coupled with the ultimate mostly to escape once he feels like he's in trouble, has been absolutely perfect a couple of times now. So, I don't know, I still think that CLG do have a chance in this.
I'm not so sure. I think the AL have hit that sort of snowball stage where they're going to start.
Jackson's just going to be the biggest thing, right?
Yeah, and he's just absolutely leaping and destroying Froggen. Look at Froggen's hit points there. That was one single leap striking in power. That's all it was. And if he gets on him, gets a couple of basic attacks going, he's going to really start hurting him. He's picked up that Fortitude bot. And also, Corky's got the Valkyrie. They can both just jump on him, and Shen can join them. They could go for this Baron. They're going to have to peel off it, though. You can see down the bottom, you see Ari actually, Froggen coming his way in there. Are they going to go straight into it? A wall of pain just about missing. The ulti coming across. Froggen dashes away from it. Nicely done there. So that's an ulti wasted straight away. Super has taken a lot of damage there with the Oracle. Snoopy actually grabbing on towards Pukey-Style. That is a good person to grab onto. Can Froggen take down Pukey-Style before he goes? Does get the Zhonya's hourglass off in time. Nautilus taking down Pukey-Style just about. Froggen's going to dash across. Kiki's actually wasting a lot of time trying to get onto him. But beautiful silence as well from Krepo there, forcing him, stopping him from leap striking away. Yellow Pete now seems to be the target. Veggie can just about get the taunt on him. Selavar will take him down, but that's some heavy, heavy losses for Absolute Legends. They're going to have to back away from this one. I'm not sure Veggie can get away from this one. Snoopy's going to try and get the late stretch line on him, but he will just walk away. But a very, very good exchange from CLG there. Now that was simply a case of Kiki's wasted a lot of time trying to get on towards Froggen and said he can close the distance, but as soon as he tried to get in there and leap on him, Krepo just silenced him. And he was just like, well, where you go now? Nowhere.
Yeah, and again, Froggen, Zhonya's hourglass, perfect timing, dashed away using his ultimate, and even managed to, number one, survive that fight, but the second thing, put out a ton of damage on his way to safety. So another great bit of play to keep CLG, in my opinion at least. I think Demon's a bit split on this idea in this game. They have a 6k gold lead. Sorry, it's a 5k gold lead. I just can't count whatsoever. Selavar, though, is starting to get very, very ridiculously strong. He's picked up the Riley's Crystal Scepter, got rid of the Aegis from earlier, on top of those Merc Treads as well. So he's going to be staying alive for a long time in these fights. And oh, that's a big amount of damage. Pukey-Style is in trouble here. Froggen is going to get the kill, and he just did not know that it was inside that brush. Great play from Froggen again. And that was the second death from Corki, and the more they can kill this Corki, the better right now, because he was in a ridiculously strong position. Obviously, Trinity Force from earlier got that BF sword in as well, so we'll see where exactly he's going to be working up. And there it is. Infinity Edge is now finished. Well,
the question is, can Froggen carry his team through? Because he'd been winning the lane against Selavar quite well. Been working now, has completed that Rabadon's Death Cap. He just says got a just shy of 400 AP, so he's very, very strong. If he can catch onto Pukey-Style, and that's why they won that fight, because he managed to get the charm across onto Pukey-Style, did damage to him, dash straight in there, and then get the hell out there before Jax could realize what was going on, realize his AD carry has gone down, because that's a massive amount of damage. Infinity Edge and Trinity Force Corki will absolutely shred the hell out of your team if he's allowed to stay alive, but they are diving on him, they are focusing him very nicely. Phantom Dancer now nearly completed on Yellow Pete to go with that Infinity Edge, so Yellow Pete's going to be coming into this one pretty hard. Obviously, you also got Trinity Force on Aurelia, so like you were saying, they have managed to work their way back into this one. That's maybe a credit to CLG just sitting back and farming, or whether it's AL that allowed them to do that because they had a clear dominant position. But we are 30 minutes into this game. It is still very, very close. Only 5k gold between these two. Definitely a one big team fight, certainly a Baron fight could turn things around. I felt AL actually got caught out of position there because Leona was pretty much dead before the fight even started. Yeah. Simply got caught out of position, and then obviously they went straight on towards the AD carry. So AL, I think if they get a straight up 5v5, they will be stronger. And obviously it's a case of Karthus getting in their faces and just suiciding into them, as you can do with Karthus.
Yeah, and I think a lot is going to, as you said, depend on these AD carries. Can Corki stay there for Absolute Legends? Can Tristana do the damage? Because we're getting to that point where Tristana really starts to shine. With that Infinity Edge and Phantom Dancer on, obviously can use rapid fire and shoot lots of stuff really fast.
Lots of stuff.
Lots of stuff. It's very technical. And that's where they're going to be at their most dangerous. But I agree with you, it's going to be about positioning and what goes on. Wicked has finally taken down this outer turret at the bottom. Absolute Legends starting to just weed out those wards. Obviously, Veggie does have that Oracle on at the moment. The wards that they had in this top side of the CLG jungle have now started to time out. This middle turret is not very healthy either, and CLG should take that down here in this little push. I'm very scared that actually Absolute Legends are going to dive straight in them, and the worst thing that they can really do with that Jax in there is bunch up. If that Counter-Strike gets him in the right position, that could mean death for everyone on the CLG team, but they've taken that out. You saw once again how much damage that Froggen Q is actually doing to the Absolute Legends team, as well as he got it over by that turret. Here is another Dragon. This is going to bring CLG even closer, but as per usual, when a team sees the opposition going down towards Dragon at this stage of the game, their first reaction is needs to go over to Baron.
Yeah, whether they're going to get into it and peel off. Camera needs to be down now, right now. There we go. We're going to be able to catch it. Whether they're going to walk straight into this one. Wicked is coming. They don't want to go for a Wicked. It's Froggen they need to get onto. Froggen was exhausted. You can see Kick is diving in there. Kick is actually going for Yellow Pete. Yellow Pete has got that Phantom Dancer as well. Pukistar's going to get taken down. Snoopy also getting focused on. That will be Pukistar going down. A double kill for Froggen. Would you believe it? They go off. The ulti's going to go off. Snoopy will go down in this one. Yellow Pete triple kill for Froggen. Very nice. You know, Kikis finally gets on towards Wicked there, and now the extra damage. Can you believe Froggen is still alive? Why did they not focus this man? I cannot believe what they were doing. Instead, they were splitting all over the place, and Veggie and Kikis are the two alive, but he's just sat there with so much health. I don't understand what they were going for.
Do you believe me yet that CLG can still win this game?
They could possibly come into it, because that's been two horrendous team fights for Absolute Legends.
Yeah, and I'm not sure why. I mean, CLG did everything right there. They went straight to the back of the fight. They went straight in for Corki. Karthus wasn't really in the midst of the pack, and that's what Karthus needs to be. That Defile has to have its time to do the damage there. Those layways have to be right on point, and it just wasn't there. The problem that I feel maybe now for CLG is when they start to lose Wicked or Irelia and Tristana, that, you know, they are pretty tanky, Absolute Legends. We've got Shen in there, who, as we saw in that fight, was on about half HP. CLG just didn't quite have the damage at the end to finish him off. Kikis, yeah, he's dangerous in there, but is he actually enough to separate them out? I'm not sure. Randuin's Omen has just been finished off there by Shen, and Absolute Legends are sniffing around on this top side. Actually, the CLG wards are kind of indifferent at this point. We've got Tristana down at the bottom, getting a bit of farm, and that's a dangerous thing. If Absolute Legends see Tristana down at the bottom, they're going to start to move over towards Baron again.
Well, you'd think so. He's certainly well out of position. They should go for Baron right now, but maybe they just feel they're not in a position
Not
now.
strong enough to fight.
Yeah, and Karthus is a little bit too far away. They don't think they realize the strength of the position they were in, and you can see that Karthus actually has gone down the bottom. Now the same thing could
CLG
happen.
might go for this now.
Well, Ari was back, so now Ari's going to be working his way back in there. So suddenly the chance has gone. I don't know whether they thought they could get in and steal it, whether they're just worried that Snoopy might get in and steal it. Maybe they're just so worried about the turrets. They've lost the two big team fights. I think that, you know, in terms of advantage, it has gone out the window. We are not as strong as we think we are. And Snoopy's been causing problems. You know, he's getting that slowdown, and that's kind of causing the problems, because I think Kikis has been leap striking on towards Froggen, and Froggen's just been ulti dashing away and saying, well, now you've got to wait for your cooldown. You're not anywhere near me, which is probably why he went for Yellow Pete in the last fight. You have to look it back and slow-mo and all sorts of crazy effects that we can do in the replays, should they become available.
So, CLG getting those walls down. Actually, Froggen is going to jump over the top here. I'm not sure if he realized that Leona was actually there. Did the damage, then she walked out the bush and he's like, whoa, I should probably not be here right now.
I think Super Ace needs
straight
to
back in. And Absolute Legends, you know, they've seen that ulti was used by Froggen. Obviously, it's got a relatively short cooldown, but I think they're going to use this chance, and we can see that they are now already on Baron Pit. Let's have a look at its HP. Wow, that has been taken down very, very quickly. Half HP already achieved. Are Absolute Legends going to stick to it? Yes, they are. 4,000 health left, and CLG just looking for the perfect time. They start to work in there. Where is the focus going to go? The Leona ulti was again not perfect. Super Ace is starting to lose. Kikis actually will be saved here by Shen. Snoopy going very low, will be picked off. Wicked was not healthy either. There's 2 kills for Corki. Karthus ulti going to come out as well, and Froggen is still at the back, but they've still got the damage here. Yellow Pete is still alive, not quite going to finish off the kill. Pukistyle is in that brush. Yellow Pete can smell him a mile away. The damage is high, but Shen goes down, and that is a double kill and an ace for CLG, who are 700 gold behind, 1 kill behind, but that's all going to be sorted here with the Demon. With the Baron. Demon, we should have bet on that one.
I've got it sorted. Yellow Pete, absolutely fantastic. Just getting the reset every time. It's bounce, bounce, bounce. He goes along, beautiful stuff there. And well, they should not have got in that position. You know, once they picked up that double kill, they could have just backed off. You know, actually, Baron was only on 2,300 hit points. I think if Corki had stayed on it, he could have probably took it down, and they'd have had a Baron during that fight, because that would have probably took him, what, 10, 15 seconds maximum. But whether they certainly had that time, when a big fight, you know, seconds are very much split, so it's absolute crazy fight. And well, 19-18, here we go. We are all on it again. CLG now with the gold advantage with the Baron. I didn't see actually who managed to go on to, but CLG just have won the last 3 team fights now. Absolute Legends, I don't know doing in team fights, but it is not working.
It's not working, and Snoopy is really, really healthy now. He's got that Shurelias, the Aegis, the Randuins, and that's where he becomes a strong, strong person. Again, we didn't see that much of him towards the early game, but he's a dominant figure now in there. Ari, by the way, on top of that Zhonya's Hourglass, Rabadon's Deathcap, now the Abyssal Scepter is going to be finished over with Karthus. As I said earlier, Rod of Ages and the Riley's
Easy for you to say.
Indeed. And Blasting Wand as well, now added in. Corki is actually working up towards a Phantom Dancer. Quicksilver Sashes being picked up for Jax and Corki. So those are the two that they know that they're going to be focused. Corki in particular needs to not get crowd control, basically. He has to be mobile the entire time. The question is, can they stop CLG focusing straight in there? Because they've got Froggen who can dash straight towards him. They've got Wicked who can dive straight on top of him. And I think that CLG, at this point of the game, to be honest with you, they've got the ability to really pick their target and stick to him.
Yeah, and so far, honestly, this game is split in either way that I could not decide which way this is going to go. Now go CLG with the advantage. They've got the Baron on the 3 players, the 3 players that count. Crepo, yellow beat Froggen. Got to give Crepo some stance. He won that first team fight, the one that started it all off. He got that silence on towards Jax. Jax couldn't leap strike on towards Froggen. He would have got the kill. So he sort of snowballed it all off. Crepo will be happy with that one when he gets to watch it back. You can see the damage now coming out from Yellow Pete. He's pretty much obliterating those minions, hitting Shen. Even Shen's getting dented pretty heavily. Oh, that charm would have hit. Look at that Veggie down to half health already. Can't do anything about it. It's going to have to back away. Wall of Pain goes down. They're trying to keep them minions away. I'm not too sure if they can actually afford to fight for this turret here. I think they need to start turtling up a little bit. AL, they have just lost too much hit points. You can see Veggie actually has started to go back to base now. So it's going to be a 4v5 should CLG suddenly push for this one. So Absolute Legends should not fight for it. But they could just keep themselves in a position, but Froggen could easily dash past this Wall of Pain and take down Celabar in seconds, and there you can see just the glass ball just going straight through towards Celabar. Charm did miss, but you can see Tristana will take down that turret with ease. However, they're going to have to back off because you see there's a big wave of minions on their bottom and mid turret stack, so they're just going to back away, take away, steal away their resources as they go. Now, Dragon, I think, is due at some point. I've completely lost time on that one because it's all about the Baron now.
Yeah, and actually CLG, after they picked up that Baron and went back, they pretty much stacked up on elixirs across the board. So they really want to push things home. They don't want to allow Absolute Legends the opportunity to get back into this game. We are seeing Absolute Legends doing something that's far too common in my opinion, which is leaving those outer turrets at this stage of the game at least open to your opponents, because they see you moving back through a certain area and they will start to push them out. So that's a nice little bit of an advantage. I say an advantage, you know, Absolute Legends don't have their outer middle turret either, but certainly bringing it back in terms of the vision. The entire jungle is up for CLG, so they're going to be wanting to take that away, get those buffs on the important players before they take this next fight. But I still think that it's not a clear-cut thing, Demon. It's going to be a positioning thing in terms of who comes out on top of these fights still.
Well, and whether CLG are going to continue pushing, the Baron buff has worn off, I believe. So they're just going to continue on. I'm just trying to see whether Froggen, yeah, the Baron buff has worn off. So whether they're going to have a straight-up fight, whether they feel they can now force the issue on a turret is a whole different ballgame. Fighting them in the open, which they've done for the last 3 times, is one thing. Whether they can fight them on a turret and dive it is a whole new ballgame. And you can see Wicked contemplating it here, I think. Charm actually went across, missed on there. Veggie, though, is taking a lot of damage. Veggie cannot tank up this damage that comes out from Yellow Pete there. Oh, wow, Kick is diving in, but counter-strike straight away, try and dodge those basic attacks, but immediately Kick has actually lost half his hit points in that one single empowered leap strike, which it just simply wasn't worth the exchange, and they realized that they're going to have to simply just sit on the turret. They can't go leaping in there. They have to let CLG make the engagement. I'm a little bit worried for Absolute Legends here. I think they've maybe lost the chance they had. They lost the advantage they had. There goes the charm on towards Veggie. Veggie taking down to half health once again. He's going to have to back off, and CLG going to take the advantage. They're probably going to push on towards his tower. Absolute Legends going to have to back away. Yeah, there they go. They cannot fight for this one. CLG will certainly take this turret, Joe.
Yeah, and there's the thing. Once these charms land, I think if it hits the right target, CLG are going to dive in there. Under the turret, not sure that it makes that much of a difference. to them at this level, but they're going to be safe with whatever decision they make. It's going to be a team effort saying, okay, that's it. That's the one we were looking for. Go. It could be this one as they hit Leona. Super A is going to be exploded. Crepo picking up the kill in the end. And actually, we saw Corky even go down to below half HP. He Valkyries away. Now the pressure comes around onto Kikis. They can't afford to lose Kikis here on the defense. Charm not quite landing. And then we see the push going in against Salava. Going to be knocked up by the Nautilus ultimate. Finished off as well. Veggie will fall. Now they push in around to Kikis. Charm not quite landing, but he's ignited up. Will die. Crepo, the hero, I suppose we can call it at this point. And that tower is going to be open for the taking. That's 4 kills, 4-0, and hardly even taking damage. Look at Wicked getting confident, getting overconfident actually, as Pokestyle will get the kill. Is it gonna matter though? Leona's up in 12 seconds, but Shen, Carthus, Jax, 40 seconds they've got to get back into this one, and I'm not sure that it's gonna be enough with Pokestyle to force them away, especially if another charm lands.
Yeah, he's trying to shred down Snoopy, but it's just too strong now. Super S is going to put his ulti down, dives onto Snoopy. Look at that, shredded down to half health in an instant there. Pukestyle just doing as much as he can to keep them away from the Nexus turrets. Next wave of minions gonna come in. I think the Nexus turret will go down. Will they fight straight for the Nexus? They've got 12 seconds before anyone spawns. Super S is going to get taken. No, Pukestyle seems to be the one they need to damage. They will take him down. Snoopy's just going to back off. And they realize Pukestyle is the only man standing. 2 seconds left on the spawns. They could just take it down. They will shred the Nexus. And CLG will win. And that is the second game of them. So surely that's going to put them through. But, you know, CLG versus Moscow 5 as I lose my headset.
Something fell on the floor there. That's good. A really fantastic game. Real nail-biting stuff. Demon's back with us, it seems.
Yes,
but I hate to say it, but I knew they were coming back in that one.
Oh, well, you did.
It's easy to say when you get it right,
yeah.
obviously. But you have to give the credit to CLG, and this is what we've talked about.
I'm giving credit to Crepo.
He got like 400 kills.
Bananas, them silences, he was absolutely fantastic. Let's not take it away from Froggen. Froggen created those chances.
Without Froggen, that game was lost.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Without Froggen, that game was totally lost. Did a fantastic job. The charms all in the right places. The Zonya's Hourglass micromanagement that he pulled off in those team fights was absolutely spot on. And, you know, there were some dodgy points in that one. Wasn't impressed early game with Snoopy. Turned things around in the late game, though, once he became super tanky and was a big rock in the middle of those team fights. Wicked on Irelia, 2-6-10. Again, wasn't super impressed in the early game. Let's not forget Jax battered him in that top lane. But once again, he was given time to farm.
That's it, yeah. And we talked about it, didn't we? We said Jax went 2-0 up against him.
And he
started wandering around the map and just left Wicked alone to farm. And if you look at the farm, the CS, Wicked's on 234 to 205. So he actually had more farm than Jax as well. And just got built, the Frozen Heart, the Trinity Force. He was just so tanky. He could get in there, cause the problems, immobilize Corky. Corky, outside of lane phase, he was at 7 kills. So he got 3 kills from the lane phase. So all those, I think it was 4 or 5 team fights. He only got 3 kills in 5 team fights. That's where the damage is lost. You know, and they just couldn't protect him. He had the Quicksilver Sash. He had 320 CS. He had Infinity Edge, Trinity Force, Phantom Dancer. He's doing a shed load of damage. But he couldn't put it out there because Irelia was in his face. Froggen was all over him, charming him. Snoopy was throwing his dredge line at him, his anchors at him. Everything they could do, it was all over him. And he was dead at the start of the fight every single time. Whereas Froggen and Tristana, you know, Tristana was jumping on people's faces and just saying, you're dead. You're dead. And they just got a quadra kill. Although it said double kill. We know it was a quadra kill. He may even got a penta, actually. I wasn't watching who got the actual the 5th one, but definitely a quadra.
Yeah, and that's the thing about Tristan, you know, it's like you get this weird-shaped graph. I think if you look at her form through the game, it's like a U-ish. That is strong early game, so but technical. Middle game is like weird, and then the end game is just like an absolute monster once you get that range in there. I mean, at the end, Phantom Dance, Infinity Edge, Last Whisper, which is basically all you need. And that Quicksilver Sash as well, just for that extra escapability. I have to give credit as well, because it's never enough credit for the support players. Wicked's Relia 2-6-10, but the real hero was Crepo on Soraka. Oh, he did steal those kills, I suppose, technically at the end with his bananas, but 2-4-15. Strong
It
performance.
was just that one start fight. He landed the silence as he was he empowered, which is always the signs like, I'm going to jump on your head. He ran in, empowered, was about to leap strike onto him, silenced. Froggen was on absolutely no health, but turned around and took down Corky. And then he would have been dead if that silence hadn't landed. That turned the whole fight, and suddenly there, I think they went 3 or 4 for 1 there, and it just turned the whole fight. And that was the very first team fight when it all kicked off. So just fantastic play. And, you know, them big plays, they're very hard to spot sometimes without the benefit of replay, which sometimes we just don't have.
Just don't have the time in a game like that where it's constant,
because it's just crazy
action. 43-minute game, actually, so a real
43
long
kills, kill a minute.
Spooky. Ooh. That's real spooky. Let's get over to the interview area because we have, I'm not sure, Freak or Rivington with Yellow Pete.
Hey guys, Rivington III here, joined by Yellow Pete in the competition area for League of Legends. You guys just came back. In the beginning, it was 5-1, bringing it back to 19-18, completely going man mode at Baron. What made you step into that bush with Corky?
Well, I knew he was low enough. He would like die in ultimate in one shot, so I basically took the chance. Like, I was a bit unlucky as well. If he got like a lucky crit or two, that would have been the other way around. But it was like, if I do this, like we get Baron, and then it's probably win. So better try. Like.
Right. So you.
So.
Yeah. So even you were saying when you stood up, you're like, wow, kind of shaky still. What were you guys thinking in the worst part of that game?
Well, we were so far behind early game. Like we got snowballed quite a lot on top. It was really like a shaky game, and then we just slowly got back into it with some good team fights, like some slightly mispositioning on their part, and well, we just managed to pick it up, and pretty luckily actually.
Right, and this isn't the first time you guys have really come back from a deficit. Tell me just about what you were telling me earlier with Meet Your Maker.
Oh, we just recently had a match versus Meet Your Makers in some online tournament. I don't remember which it was, and we came back from like a 116 on, like being 116 down in kills, and we still managed to win that game. So yeah, we have quite a history in winning lost games.
So what kind of information do you have for teams in that position when you're down that far and it just seems like everything is against you, you can't grab the objectives? How do you get your team back in that situation?
Well, you just got to stay like motivated. You have to see like you probably still have some strength. You got to see what your strengths are. If you can maybe catch somebody out like in higher numbers, or just to know like whether you can maybe still contest this or that buff because maybe they don't have one or a few ultimates, or they're low on mana or health. Like all these factors, you always have to like monitor them, and then you can basically determine whether you're still strong enough to take a fight.
So what did Absolute Legends really show you about your strategies there? What are you guys taking away from that matchup?
There's not too much to take away from. Like they had a pretty snowbally comp, and they did snowball at the start, but we turned around with like some pretty good play. So like, yeah, there's not too much to learn from it, but it was still a very good match.
Right on, guys. Yellow Pete and Rivington III here from the competition area. Congratulations on the win, and great Tristana game as well. What do you got? Snoopy wants to give away a shirt here. You're going to sign it off. How are you going to give it away?
I have no idea yet. We're thinking about it. We're going to do like a raffle here at the Riot booth.
All right.
Like if you guys come around the League of Legends Center, we'll give you one free t-shirt with CLG, signed by all of CLG.
All right, guys, so you heard it there. There's going to be a CLG raffle for a shirt signed by all of CLG. If you guys see him walking around, figure out more about that. Rivington III, as I said, with Yellow Pete here. CLG.EU taking the win on that match. We'll be right back with more DreamHack Summer 2012.